SOSG, standing on solid ground. Hello, my name is Kim Jones, and I am the host of Standing on Solid Ground. Standing on Solid Ground is a spiritual, inspirational, and motivational podcast to uplift our daily lives. In today's challenging times, words of encouragement and a good ear to listen is more demanding than ever. Some are asking, how are we going to make it? Jobs are being lost and food is more expensive. There are more children learning virtually and parents working from home, where the internet is more of a necessity than a luxury. We need to know these things were already seen by God. They are the storms of life, and the outcome depends on our attitude on the situation. Things are not 100% for me, but like Peter, I'm standing in the midst of the storm. I must keep my eyes on Him who will see me through. There are many tears that were shedded and hearts broken during these trials and tribulations. God feels our infirmities. The loved ones we lost were written in His plans. We are suffering, but we are strong in God, and God is seeking our attention. He is asking for our eyes to be on Him. Look at the storms that are raging. Protests are burning in the hearts of so many, but God needs us to be more like our ancestors. Remember, we are suffering, but we are strong. God is seeking our attention. He is asking for our eyes to be on Him. Look at the storms that are raging. We need to find our ground and stand firm and hold strong on our beliefs, on our trust, on our faith, and in each other. Our grounds have been shaken. They have been cracked. They even have lost their strength in some cases. But we don't need to walk away. We need to hold strong. We need to fight the fight and continue to go in our journey. COVID-19 has changed and impacted our lives on so many different levels. And I'm so sad of knowing of so many people who have lost loved ones due to the COVID-19. Then we have racial tension, and we have so many lives lost due to the color of a person's skin. These grounds are being shaken, but they can't be broken as long as you believe, as long as you trust, and as long as you hold on to your faith. I often tell myself, I want to be like a palm tree. I want to be like a palm tree that no matter how hard the winds blow, and no matter how fierce the waters may be, that palm tree still standing. It may lose a branch, it may lose some leaves, but the trunk of the tree is still standing strong. And I want to hold firm and be as strong as that palm tree. I know it is hard to look away and knowing that the rent is due and the car note is due. I know it's hard to look away and know that the lights and the water and the gas bills are due, or some have been faced with evictions. I understand. I really do. But I also know that the same beliefs and the same God that was there in the beginning of time, during the trials and tribulations of where slaves were beaten and chained and abused, that they looked to the hills where whence cometh their help. And they kept calling, and they kept calling, and they kept calling. They didn't turn on each other. They looked to the hills. They stood their ground in belief. And see, that solid ground is what I want to stand on. I continue to stand on. Yes, troubles have come my way. You would not believe how many troubles have come my way. But I refuse to go down. I refuse to give in. I refuse to be pushed off of my ground. I might have a little wedge in a corner, or I might have ground as big as an island, but I refuse to step back. I refuse to give in or to succumb to all of this that is around me. I look up and I look to the hills, and I'm waiting for my help. I'll wait. I continue to look. If I didn't see him today, I'll wait. I'll look for him tomorrow. If I don't see him tomorrow, I'll look for him the next day. In other words, I have to hold and be anchored in my position and not to let go of my faith, because the rain is coming. The storms is blowing. The storms is not going to go away. We can pray and ask that the storms go away. We can pray and ask that God just take all the troubles away. Pray that he just give us all the money that we need to take care of everything that we need to take care of. But the fact remains that no matter what troubles you're facing, you're not going to be facing them alone. As long as you hold on to his unchanging hand and believe that he is able to pull you through. If I look at Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and when they were in that furnace, God could have easily have taken them out of the furnace, but God has something to prove. He wanted to show the ones that were throwing these men into this fiery furnace that nothing or no one is greater than he. Yes, God could have made it very easy and just told Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, come out. But I understand something, that it wasn't about them just coming out. It was about the man who stood with them in that fiery furnace. And that's a valuable lesson to me, to understand that God, no matter what, is going to be there. When the men threw Daniel in the lion's den, they threw him in there to get eaten. But yet God tamed those lions. And they made those lions understand, you don't touch him. God is the same God. And the fiery furnace or the dying lion's dens that we stand in today, it's the same. God is still going to be standing right there with us. No, he's not going to take us out of the storm, but he's going to show us how to get through the storm. And that's what it's all about. That is what standing on solid ground is all about. is standing for what you believe in. I prayed for the protesters that went out and they protested the violence against men and women of color where their lives were taken. And they stood out on these streets for days, weeks at a time. And there was someone very close that was killed, that I attended that funeral, that died during that protest. The most important thing for me to remember is this, that when we go into the fire, we go into the fire fighting. But God doesn't bring us out of the fire. He just shows us how to get through the fire. And when we get through the fire, we come out as pure gold. Because He's burning off everything that's impure upon us or within us. So whenever you find yourself going through a storm, stand on that ground. Stand firm and hold strong and know you're going to get through it. It's not going to go away, because you know what's going to happen. If God takes us out of every single situation and we don't learn anything, the next storm that comes along, we're going to find ourselves crying out again and again and again and again. So He allowed us to go through it. So when that time comes where another storm brews, we know how to handle it. It's like, let's just say you're going to a country that rains all the time, every day, and you go unprepared. Where you know the next time that you go, the last time you remember going, it was raining. And you'll say, I'm going to pack me an umbrella, I'm going to have me a raincoat, I'm going to have this, I'm going to have everything that I need for that storm or that rain. Because every day that you visited that place, it rained. So you're going to go prepared. And then another place that you go, you may find that it stays hot all the time. It never rains. And you're going to prepare yourself for that. In other words, whenever we find ourselves in a storm, God is preparing us not only to get us through that storm that we're in, but getting us ready for another storm that may be coming along. It's just like if you look at the weather and you'll hear the weather report, it's going to rain. It's going to rain. You're going to prepare yourself. Or if it's going to snow, you're going to prepare yourself. Or if a tornado or a hurricane or whatever may be, you're going to prepare yourself for it. You're going to get ready. Just like you get ready for the natural weather, we got to get ready for the spiritual weather. The spiritual weather could be not having money. It could be a loved one just passed away. It could be you just lost your job. It could be that you don't have enough money to pay your bills. Whatever that storm is, if you face that storm again later on in life, you will be able to say, I got through it before and I'll get through it this time. And you will get stronger and you'll be more encouraged And you will have more of a fight in you because you are familiar with this storm. And you'll know how to get through it. God didn't remove Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego from the fire. He did not remove Daniel from the lion's den. He did not take David out of the Goliath's sight. He allowed him to fight. In other words, what we go through is to better us, not to punish us, but to make us stronger, to make us more vibrant, to make us more faithful, and to encourage our faith. Look to the hills, where whenceforth cometh your help. I know my help coming from the Lord. It's been coming from the Lord a long time. And I'm not going to turn away from Him. Now, I know there are some that don't believe. I understand that. I respect that. I know that there are some that have difficulties believing. I understand that too. I understand that there are those that believe in their own strength. And again, I understand. But for those of you that are looking for help, that are searching, that are seeking, that you feel like there is no way out, that you lost all hope, trust me when I tell you, I've been against walls in my life. My back has been against so many walls. I have cried so many tears, but I never gave up, because every morning that I open up my eyes and I see a new mercy, a new day, I say to myself, God purposed this day for my life for a reason. I'm here for a reason. I just have to understand what that reason is. I have to find out what that reason is for. But the only way I'm going to find out my purpose is that I have to keep living. I have to keep fighting. And I have to keep standing on my solid ground. If you have any questions, if you have any testimonies, if you have just something that you want to say, just get off your chest or talk about whatever it is that's on your mind, that's in your heart. Please leave me an email, and I will make sure that this information is given to you at the end of this podcast. But for right now, I would say be encouraged. Stand your ground. And if you don't know where your ground is, find a ground and stand on it. Just say, I'm not going to let this beat me. I'm not going to let this defeat me. If there's a will, there is a way. And if I'm here, God has a purpose for me. And I'm going to figure out what it is. And keep pushing, keep pressing until you reach that prize. Until you reach that prize. Keep going. Don't stop. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. You find what you were made to do. Everybody is not made to do the same thing. Everybody has something of their own to do. Find out what your purpose is. You have a wonderful day. I hope that this has blessed your life. And I hope that you join me again with Standing on Solid Ground. And again, my name is Kim, and you have a wonderful day.